Hello, my name is Krista Masher. I'm with the Cafe Institute, and I'm here with my colleague Iris Spurl from the Ready for Learning project in Bowness, Montgomery here in Calgary. And Iris and I are both active members of the First 2000 Days Early Childhood Network, and this short video is an introduction into one agency's experience using the Strengthening Families approach. So Iris, I've heard you tell this story in the past, and thank you for agreeing to share your story about this experience using the Strengthening Families approach. So when was it that you first came upon the Center for the Study of Social Policy and the Strengthening Families?
Before 2011, our early literacy work in Bowness, Montgomery was set in the formal early learning and care settings in the community, the child care centers, family day homes, and the preschools. And at the end of 2010, an evaluation was conducted of the work that had happened in the previous 6 years. And a recommendation coming out of that evaluation was that we should shift the focus of our work. Instead of having it in those formal settings, we should move it into the context of the family and the environment of the family. This might sound very reasonable for us today, but at that time it required quite a major shift in our thinking. We believe, of course, there's never a need to reinvent the wheel at Ready for Learning, so we started by looking at other community-based and family-centered programs or projects that exist across the continent and farther afield even. So we looked at many projects that we thought we could pull pieces from that would fit in our particular context. We were wanting to make sure that we could pull out commonalities from all of these different projects, that we could pick the pieces that seem most relevant and fit best within our community.
So what wound up happening, Iris?
Well, as you can imagine, what happened involved a lot of sticky notes. We kept tracking these pieces from the different programs until we settled on ones that we thought would work best in our context. And the ones that we came up with actually inspired our theory of change for Ready for Learning.
Then why Strengthening Families? What about it really resonated with you and your work at Ready for Learning?
We really like the big ideas that underlie the Strengthening Families approach. First of all, it's very strengths-based and grounded in solid research, and we like that evidence-based piece to it. The other thing that really drew us is that it promised a changed relationship with parents, and of course that's what we were looking for. The Strengthening Families literature reports that oftentimes in programs there's a lot of attention paid to the content, but that sometimes program facilitators see parents as irrelevant to the work that they're trying to do in delivering the program itself, or worse yet, that they may be obstacles to achieving the kinds of outcomes that they're really looking for. But Strengthening Families brings in the parents in all aspects in the work that happens, and that really drew us. Another idea is that it doesn't have a scripted curriculum that needs to be followed to the T like many other approaches do. In this case, the resources are free. They're readily available through the internet, and really they speak to small but significant changes that happen in the everyday interactions between the caregivers and the families that they're interacting with, program facilitators and the families they're interacting with. It's also important that there is an evaluation component built in, and so we're able to see where we were starting and then track our progress over time using the resources that are part of that free, readily available material.
So did you just jump in with the whole approach and really try incorporating all 5 of the protective promotive factors?
Actually, no, we decided to start with a focus on just 3 of the 5. 2 of those we felt we already incorporated into the work that we were already doing in some respects. And the third was one that we felt we really needed to build into our programs. To do all 5 at once would have been too big a change for us at that time. So to start gradually and build forward was the way we picked to go. We decided to do knowledge of parenting and child development, concrete support in times of need, and then building social connections. And that building social connections was the one that received the less attention in our programs at that time.
So how did you start?
Well, we started in the fall of 2011 with building social connections because we felt we needed to really strengthen that piece in our programs. And we really wanted parents to have a stronger sense of community and sense of belonging by the time our program ended. The residue would be that they would have connections with each other going forward from there. Then in the fall of 2012, so a whole year later, we really were ready to delve deeper into the knowledge of parenting and child development. And we did that by incorporating the ages and stages questionnaires more intentionally into our work. Of course, that required some training, but we were able to access that through Alberta Health Services. And at the same time, and all along with this, we were revising the way that we were thinking about offering concrete support in times of need. We didn't really think of that as our work particularly, but at the same time, parents would come to us during program times and often seemed to want to open conversations about these pressures that they were facing in their family life, and we knew that we needed to take up working on that as well.
Sounds like the work has been really broad and deep, Iris. Perhaps we can talk a bit more about the impacts of all of this work when we talk again.